Hello to everyone guys, this is a new video. Sorry for not posting in the last week and a half, but the system take a little bit longer than expected to make it work, so I used a little bit more time. So the first thing that I want to show you, I make the microphone more near my face. Is this changed to the boot movement script. I changed the to this line for the horizontal movement, and I changed the sensitivity of the axis to 1. Now the system works fine without the bug of the boat moving around without the actual input of the joystick. And the problem was that the joystick, being old, is not perfect on its input, and sometimes his analogic sticks were not on the exact 0 position. So we can start this episode by creating 2 new scripts that are the path script and the path creator script, to create a new empty game object that I've already created, called this was for a previous recording of the video. So create a circuit creator, an empty game object, and put there the path creator. Then in the asset folder we can create a new folder called editor, and inside this folder we can create the path editor script. So we can open all the script. Now in the path script, first thing is to delete the mono behavior and to serialize this. So we go system.serializable. Perfect. Now we can start by declaring the variable that we need to define our path. Using a basic curve, we will need the entry point and the control points. The control points will be divided in previous point and following points. We create a list of vector 3. We call anchor. Another list. Next part is to create the constructor. So we go right there for the constructor, and inside this we can declare the list and create the list by typing list new list of vector 3. And we also add the first point, the first and the second point, to this lists. To add these new points we need a position, and we get it by the arguments of our the parameters of our function. We need the 3 other functions that are for moving the point, for creating a new point, for adding a new point, and another to loop to the index. This is a particularly useful function because lets us deal with negative indexes for our function. So this is very simple. It's just I for the mode of the anchor length. So anchor.count plus the anchor.count mod anchor.count. That's very simple, and we need just to return this. and this is obviously an int function, needs to return an int. So this just picks the I. Let's say that we have an answer count of 4. If this is -5, this first gives -1, plus the 5 gives 4 another time, and modeled by this gives 0, that is exactly going before for 4 units, and then selecting the previous one, that will be the number 0. So that's perfect, and now we can move on our path creator script. Right there we want to define a path reference and a function to create the path. Instead of this, we just assign the path to a new path, so just construct this, and this is all. For the position, we just use the transfer.position, so the actual position of our path creator component, circuit creator component. We need to work only on the y plane, on the xz plane, not on the xy plane. So we need to delete all of the y coordinates, so just put the position y to 0 before moving on to creating these vectors. Now we need to pass to the path editor part. First thing to do is obviously to use the Unity editor namespace and to change MonoBehavior to editor. Then we need to use this space to create the function onEnable. So when the editor script is enabled. Before doing this, I forgot to add right there the declaration for a custom editor of the type. So it refers to the type of the path creator, so type path creator. So where there is a path creator script, this editor will work. On the onEnable, we are going to use 2 reference, one to the path creator, called obviously creator, and one to the path, called path. And right there we are going to assign this, so the creator will be the target object, so the object pointed by the custom editor. Just write target right there, and if there isn't a path in this, so creator.path is equal to null, right, in the path creator this reference should be public. If there is not a path, we just create a path, so we go creator.create. Also this should be public. I forgot quite a while, quite much public, so create path and assign the path. So then we're going to define a new function that is on GUI, GUI, and inside this we are going to write the function for drawing our points. So to draw the points is very simple. First thing is to go to the in a for loop for all the answer. So we select the answer array. Obviously I didn't write public, right, public, this also is public, and this is public. So by the path we select the answer array dot counts, so the length of this list, and inside this function we can just draw the points. This is very simple. We first thing to do is to select the color, so we will use red color for the handles, and create a new variable called position. New position, no, position is right. Position for the, let's say, anchor position equals to and handles, and we use free move handles. Instead of this, we are going to spawn this in the position in which our point is. So our point is in the position of the actual array at our index. The rotation is an identity. The size we can use 0.2, and this should be enough. Maybe we can make it bigger later. We don't want the snap property, so just set the vector free to 0, and we have the type of handle that will be a cylinder handle. Now we need to check if the position is equal to the old position. If it's not equal, then to the anchor at I. If it's not equal, we need to move the point, inside the path, move point. Okay, that's perfect. Now this thing can be repeated for the counterpoints. We just need to change the color and some of the declaration. For example, this is for the previous point, so we go this previous, and previous, and then P, and for the following point. Okay, that's perfect. And for the color we use what is this, a blue? No, I don't know, a magenta. Magenta should be an S color. Then we need to do the using the color, we change the color to black this time, and we need to draw the lines between the connected anchor and control points. This is so simple, just do handles draw line and select the points. So between the anchor and the previous. And for the next, instead of the previous, the following. Then we use another color for the basic curve. We just use the green color. And we can just go with handles dot do Bezier. Let's leave a little bit more space. We need the start tangent, that will be the anchor, the path.anchor at the current index. Then for the end tangent will be the next anchor. To not occur in error, we just use the loop index function. So we select anchor, and instead of this we go path.loopIndex, and we write I+1. Then we need the start tangent, that is the first following point, and then tangent is the previous point of the next anchor point. So previous, and we reuse the loop index function. Then for the color we have set green, color green, and then for the last thing is the texture is null and the width can be 2. Okay, let's see if this worked fine. We can erase the color.green because we defined color inside this function, the draw bezier function. And if we go in the circuit creator, remember to be in ISO mode when working with this. We should see the path created. We can hide this in the inspector. We don't want to see this. We are not interested in that now. Just move back the boat. This doesn't show up. It doesn't show up. Why? Let's see. Because I forgot to draw the actual scene on the same GUI. So let's see. And nothing happened. Another time. Okay, I just deleted the component and repicked the component in this worked. Probably we didn't see it because it was too little, but you can see that we have our control points, and that's really interesting. So we need to now create the add and move position.